Welcome back. You're watching Daybreak, and thank you for staying with us. The hashtag on X is Daybreak. The SMS code is 22422 at Citizen TV Kenya and at Ayub Abdikadir. With me in the studio, Victor Odhiambo is an IT specialist. Good morning, Victor.
Good morning.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Much appreciated. Edna Mwango is a business leader at Inua AI. Good morning, Edna.
Good morning.
Thanks for making time for the broadcast.
Thank you.
Macharia Ngatia is an IT specialist. Good morning, Macharia.
Morning, Ayub.
Thanks for your time. And Maina Karobia is an MP at the East African Legislative Assembly of the United Democratic Alliance Party. Good morning, Maina.
Good morning to you. It's a great pleasure.
Thanks for making time for the broadcast. Shortly, we'll be joined by Angel Mbudia, who is the chairperson of the Jubilee Youth League, and Kimani Patrick, who is the chief executive officer of the Callistic Group Limited. And we'll be talking about the jobs for the young people. Where are they? What and how they can leverage on technology as part of the gainful economic opportunities for themselves and job creation, and an attempt to turn attention away from the dependency on the white-collar jobs and the available labor, which can be tapped on through foreign direct investment. That, of course, is informed by the political stability of the nation and the taxation regime, plus the other policy pronouncements that attract foreign direct investments. But first, let's briefly look at the front pages of the Daily Nation and the Standard. First, the Daily Nation says, why governors are in big trouble. The COG is opposed to proposed law designed to block the county bosses from contesting for parliamentary positions at least 5 years immediately after leaving office. That's for the governors who will be done with their 2 terms in office. If enacted, a second term governor or governors who will leave office in 2027 and plan to contest the MP seat would be the first casualties. And the paper says the bill supporters argue it cures conflict of interest that breeds impunity, and says that the lawmaker wants the county bosses to only be allowed to vie for senator, MP or MCA seats 5 years after leaving the office. According to Governor Ken Lusaka, Bungoma County, why would they, he say, want to deny Kenyans an opportunity to elect leaders they want? If the leaders still want to serve in other positions, let the Kenyan people decide that on the ballot. And that the draft Constitution of Kenya Amendment Bill 2023 seeks to impose the restriction on politicians either after serving for 2-term limit or after 1 term. The bill by nominated Senator Raphael Shimera is is enacted, second-term governors would leave office in 2027 and plan to contest for the National Assembly or Senate seats will be the first casualties. First, Honorable Maina, coming to you, Karobia. Where do we draw the line in terms of representation? It's the people who make the choice, is it, through the ballot?
It's the people who make the choices, but Ayub, it's important to also draw the lines, because unchecked democracy always also nears to dictatorship and also impunity. So I want to support my good friend, the Honorable Raphael Shimera, on this particular bill. I know the much support I can give him is on public sensitization, but I fully support that bill because it will help in terms of the checks and balances. Somebody will not claim or to be enjoying the privileges of being protected by the law as an elected leader after they have had maybe executive powers as governors or even as a president in their respective positions. So you see, somebody who is elected, it's quite difficult to be held accountable from if he or she had executive powers previously. We have seen previous governors who have crossed over to legislative role. When they are checked on, it becomes difficult. But it is always good we give ourselves that room of maybe like 5 years so that they can undergo scrutiny. If there are questions that are supposed to be asked of how they were conducting their businesses when they had executive powers, they can have or they can give the investigative or any interested person the chance to conduct that investigation or ask even questions ample time. So, and I think 5 years window I think it is reasonable and logical.
Okay.
We get that window so that we can be able to check on how people are utilizing public resources. I think, Ayub, we need to check how our democracy is conducted. I've said excessive democracy sometimes can near to impunity. So we cannot just leave everything to just saying that people have right to vie and people have right to contest. I think it is important that we have these checks and balances on our governance system.
Okay.
Thank you.
And as you have mentioned that, then coming to you, Victor.
Yes.
I mean, the proposal here is, briefly as we look at this, to give a time frame of 5 years before they can contest for MP, Senate, or MCA position. But still, they're going to be contesting. And how does then this 5-year period cure the challenges that might forthcome from an executive governor who's out for 10 years with a huge budget, billions of shillings at his disposal or her disposal, and then going over to position either at the National Assembly or at the Senate? Can that 5-year cure, for example, the needed discipline that ought to come from our political leaders?
Thank you very much. I think I support the bill, number one. But secondly, and most importantly, I think they should be back completely from actually accessing any public office in terms of probably offices like governors and senators and MCA positions. Why? Because for the period that these people are in government, rather than in the governorship positions, they amass too much wealth. And I think when given an opportunity to come back, someone who was not able to do something as a governor with that massive financial muscle, I don't think there's much they can do if they come back as a member of parliament or maybe as an MCA. I think you can execute your mandate better as a governor with that budget, and I don't think you should be given any other opportunity. We are 52 million Kenyans, for crying out loud. I don't think we should be able to recycling leaders who have already served in position, who begin an opportunity for like 10 years to come back again and contest in a lower positions with a lesser budget. And for some reasons, I think if we given an opportunity, it's like telling someone to come back and clear, or probably trying to get some level of influence and do the things that we did wrongly, but this time around in a rogue manner. Because remember, when these people are given an opportunity, they have huge budgets. We've had governors who've had finances which have been lost in one way or the other. They've been squandering of money, one or two ways. There are governors who have been there previously, who are in courts for those reasons. And given an opportunity, it's like telling someone, come back and be able to cover up what you've been doing.
Okay.
So I don't think anybody who served for 10 years, especially in a governorship position, should be given an opportunity to even come back to any elective position for that matter, yes.
Coming to you, Macharia, then we will have, of course, the debate about then how do we then safeguard their rights to contest, for example, and the question of accountability, because some governors also have dark clouds of accountability when it comes to how they have managed the resources over their heads. Is it a way running away from accountability by being in power perpetually? So therefore, where do we draw the line and have that healthy debate about how they have managed the resources for the 10 years, the accountability question, and their right to be voted for the people or rejected by the people?
Thank you, Ayub. So for me, I support that bill, though I feel it's a bit weak, because there is no way you can get up to campus, then you repeat Form 4. It doesn't make sense. So when you become a governor, the next seat you should go for is president, if you have the capability of doing it. So that's why I don't think this is a good way of running a country. And that's why I'm always in problem with the democracy that we have. Democracy is good for developed country, but for Kenya, I don't think we are yet there, because every time we find ourselves in a very tight situation whenever we try to exercise democracy. So I think that's a good motion, and I would support it, because I don't think a governor should move from a governor and then go back to an MP or an MCA. That's backwardness, which I think it's not good for a country like Kenya.
Is the problem our democracy, or is the problem our leadership, in your view? And we're going to be having, of course, the debate about young people, why a majority of us who make up the population feel sidelined, no job opportunities. We graduate from universities, but our fellow colleagues are still on the streets. Then does it not come down to leadership and not the kind of governance model that we have, be it a democracy or any other?
The problem is democracy. For example, I give a good example with Nairobi County. In the last election, we had two very good competitors. That was Igathe and Sakaja. Look at what people did. We gave path for the democracy, and then look at how we ended up. We had a very good candidate, but then the democracy did what it did. So we are suffering because of democracy, which I think in some areas we don't deserve democracy. We are not yet there as a country.
What's the alternative? What would you propose as an alternative then?
As an alternative, I think some designated areas, like, for example, Nairobi County, that should be left to be run by a technocrat. For example, someone who qualifies to be a cabinet secretary can be able to run Nairobi as a county. But leaving Nairobi to a politician, it messes out everywhere.
All right. Well, questions, of course, as to how that technocrat comes into place at first, because it must be a choice that all of us subject ourselves to the Kenyan people for us to be accorded that opportunity. And we will close this with, before we proceed to the aspect about the main topic of discussion here, it's about the jobs, the what, the where, and how. And I first begin with you, Edna. Talk to us about this major topic of young people and the jobs, where and how can that be actualized using ICT platforms, for example, and technology in the modern day world. And is this the platform that the Kenyan youth can bank on in terms of the economic opportunities that they are so anxiously waiting to have?
Yes, thank you. Definitely it's a platform that the Kenyan youth can capitalize on, because there's a lot of opportunities on the internet, on the digital space, where you can be able to get access to very many opportunities. You can be able to go to LinkedIn and get many opportunities to get a job. So it's something that the youth can capitalize on.
All right. When we get back from this short commercial break here on the broadcast, we as well welcome Angel Mbuthia and Kimani Patrick as we delve further into the discussion around the young people, the feeling of sidelining, how they can leverage using technology and the platforms that are there to create gainful employment for themselves and also be the job creators. And will this be the turn-away point from, or lifting the attention away from dependency on white-collar jobs? And is there the right investment in terms of what's coming into the country and the availability and the available labor from the Kenyan youth? The hashtag on X is Daybreak. The SMS code is 22422 at Citizen TV Kenya and at Ayub Abdikarim. We proceed after the break here on the broadcast. Stay tuned.